The third reason why we are so bad at listening, even when we are only listening, we are still communicating. The famous psychologist Paul Watzlawick said, "You cannot not communicate." Your body is constantly telling your conversation partner something. For example, if you hold eye contact or not, your posture, if you're leaning forward, if you're not, and even the direction of your feet where they are pointed to are telling something. Your body language can either encourage someone to open up and let the water flow, or it can shut them down. Sometimes we get so caught up trying to look like we are listening, nodding, smiling, that we forget to actually listen. Our partner is happy that they were able to deliver the message because we nod and they think we understood. But deep down, we didn't really catch even half of it. Imagine the consequences over time. If you as a leader only receive fragments of the important information, if you constantly spill the water, you will damage relationships, miss out on crucial insights, and ultimately weaken your ability to lead. Now, let's break down active listening into its three parts and dive into each of them. We will understand the challenges and how to master them with mindfulness. The first part of active listening or mindful listening is the cognitive part. Consciously paying attention to the information coming your way. It's like holding the glass steadily under the tap because there's a lot of things happening. The spoken information, the hidden messages between the lines, the emotions behind the words. So, recognizing messages between the lines, suddenly active listening doesn't sound so simple anymore, right? I remember a conversation with a team member of mine. He told me he was concerned about the responsibility he had to take in a new project. At first, I reassured him, "You'll handle it, I believe in you." But he didn't seem relieved because of this. Instead of rushing ahead, I asked, "What is really concerning you?" After a pause, he admitted, "This level of responsibility should actually be assigned to a senior. I believe I can handle it, but if I'm doing senior work, I want the senior title as well." Fair point, right? So the conversation completely shifted towards a topic which really mattered to my team member. Now, about distractions. Imagine you are driving on a highway and you keep switching lanes without any reason. You lose focus, you slow down, and you create danger. We do the same in conversations as well. We switch to the lane of the past, regretting what we said or didn't say in the past. We instantly switch several lanes at once, jumping to the future, worrying about meetings we haven't prepared. Then we come back to the current lane, but we are not focusing on driving. Instead, we are thinking about checking our phones. Or we get bored and daydream. No one can stay fully attentive 100% of the time, but mindful leaders notice when they drift away and they guide their focus back to the present moment. Now, for you to practice. In your next conversation, pay attention. When your mind drifts away, just cut the thought you were having and bring your focus back to your partner. The more you practice, the faster you recognize that you are drifting away. The faster you can come back to the conversation and the less water you will spill. The second part, the emotional part of active listening. What if I told you that the cognitive part is not sufficient to actively listen to your peers? Handling your own emotions during conversations is critical because the information you hear might trigger emotions inside you, like anxiety, annoyance, anger, or even excitement. These emotions can easily cause a fight, flight, freeze response. They can cause stress, which shuts down the rational part of your brain, the part which is most important for understanding the received information. If you let those emotions hijack you, you will stop listening. Imagine a coworker says to you, "I'm nervous about telling the customer we'll miss the deadline." Instead of listening, you interrupt and start you telling your own story. "I remember when I had to break bad news to the customer." You maybe meant well, but you took the focus away from them, from your partner, to your story. Try to stay present instead. Breathe, let them finish, and ask, "What is worrying you the most?" This way you stay connected and uncover what really matters. To practice this, Whenever you notice strong emotions bubbling up in a conversation when you are listening, can be anger or excitement, frustration, use mindfulness. Feel these emotions. Stay curious. Don't react impulsively so you can stay in the conversation. This was the second part. Now it is time for the third part, your behavior during active listening. You might think, yeah, just nod and smile, right? Not quite. There's much more to mindful body language, for example. Not naturally, don't overdo it. Add soft sounds, but make them genuine, not automatic, only if you really got the point. Watch your posture. Open and neutral is better than defensive. Also, watch their feet. If the feet are standing in the same angle to their body, they intend to stay. They are interested. But if one foot is pointing into a certain direction, this means that the person might be already halfway out of the door and is not paying attention anymore. Avoid leaning back too far. Lean slightly in to show engagement. And very important, eliminate distractions like your phone. Your phone should also not be even on the table when you have a conversation. Don't interrupt, let the water flow. And ask clarifying questions, gently and non judgmentally. For example, instead of asking, "Why did you do that?" ask, "Help me please understand your motivation behind it." You don't always have to agree, of course not. But you should listen and understand the view of your conversation partner. Finally, always summarize and validate. Summarize what you've heard and validate the emotions they have shared. For example, that one of your team member has currently no project assignment, that you understand that this situation can cause stress and anxiety. Validating thoughts and emotions of the other person fosters the relationship. And here's one more practical tip. Ask for feedback. Ask your peers how they perceived your listening. That's how you get better. It doesn't cost much. Now that you understand what active, mindful listening really is, it's up to you to practice it. And you know, the good news, there are so many opportunities in the everyday working environment or in your private environment. So if you enjoyed this content, hit the like button and subscribe. And let me know in the comments, what is your biggest challenge when practicing mindful listening? Thank you for watching. Break out now and kickstart your leadership journey with Lead Now.